can feel my creation. I'm getting your message. Are you getting mine? Oh, we are excited, aren't we? Well, just relax. Just relax. Yeah. No more. Now, we can have a good time, can't we? I'll tell you a secret. I find you adorable. I'll tell you a secret. I find you adorable. I find you adorable. I find you adorable. I don't need to ask how you find me. You see, I am your fantasy. I am your experience. So experience me. I am your pleasure. So enjoy me. This is our moment together in time. That we might turn this moment into an eternity.
I am from beyond. Listen, and all you desire will be yours. Welcome to Spider-Dan and the Secret Balls. Prepare for Prattle.
Nativity Stories.
Welcome to Prattle World. I am your host, the ever-amazing, ever-spectacular Spider-Dan. And in this podcast, I spotlight entertainment's best-kept secrets that a mainstream audience may find boring. And welcome to Alternativity Stories, a month-long look at alternative stories set around the most wonderful time of the year. And it is the most wonderful time of the year. And we don't just celebrate Christmas during Alternativity Stories. We celebrate Hanukkah like we did last year. And this year we're also celebrating New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. But we also celebrate fictional holidays, much like Life Day in the Star Wars universe. And I have the only man I could ever talk Star Wars with, other than Scott and the video games one we did. And he is here to finish the trilogy of terrible, of awful, of Star Wars content, the worst possible Star Wars content that was potentially ever made. We are here to talk the Star Wars holiday special from 1978. And I brought back the true emperor, the supreme leader. It is Angry Andy.
Oh, happy Life Day, you awful, awful man, for making me watch this. I hate you all. I hate you.
I can feel your anger.
Oh, the rage, the misery, the suffering is large and building like a super weapon above us, above a planet. I'm ready to unleash the weapon and destroy everything.
Well, I'm gonna. This is the first time that you did say we've recorded a Patreon only commentary. And,
we have,
and
was bizarre. Bizarre. Large gaps of silence as we digest the immense misery before us.
The absolute bullshittery of the Star Wars Holiday Special.
Yep.
But you did say that you did see it as a child, but you didn't remember anything from it. So
after finishing watching it, there's little to nothing that I remember from when I watched it. But my mum said we did watch it probably when I was 8, 9. And it obviously was a bootleg. I don't know where it came from. We never had it on video. I'm assuming they borrowed it from someone when I embarked on the Star Wars journey of discovery back in the day. But I didn't remember anything of it. And I'm glad. And now I'm miserable because I'll have this running through my brain for the rest of my life.
I'm going to let you just go with it. So I want you to tell me what the plot...
Don't ask me the fucking plot. I haven't got a fucking clue, mate. I'm going to be honest. Right? You want the plot. So essentially, Chewbacca is trying to get back home to Kashyyyk, but they don't call it Kashyyyk. They call it, what do they call it?
Kashyyyk.
Kashyyyk. It sounded like me when I was trying to process it. My brain was just going, anyway, sorry, a bit of a cough there. That was so Chewbacca is trying to get back home to Gzuk, later known as Kashyyyk, to celebrate Life Day with his family. But the Empire are nefarious scoundrels, and like the wacky races, they're chasing them across the galaxy. All the while, back home, Chewbacca, the drunken, slovenly father of Chewbacca, is sat there wallowing in his own self-misery. Chewbacca's son has terrible, scary eyes and is playing with multiple different variations of the same TV product from Toshiba. And his wife is making terrible dishes whilst watching, again, on a terrible Toshiba, copious amounts of nonsense food for no real reason. And that is the plot. There is nothing else. There's songs, there's dances. It's essentially a cabaret of misery and disappointment that goes on far longer than it fucking should. As you can probably tell, I hate this. I hated every single minute of it. There were large parts where I was baffled into absolute silence. And yeah, worse than the Ewok films, worse than the Rise of Skywalker. You Rise of Skywalker fans will be happy to know. Yeah, just awful. It's of no surprise to me that this was buried for so bloody long. What is concerning to me now is that Disney is trying to push Life Day into mainstream Star Wars canon, which means we're either going to get a Lego bloody video game style remake, similar to the holiday special from last year of this, or we're going to get a full-blown live-action remake that will be pushed into canon, and I simply, honestly, cannot be fucking arsed with that.
What if, for example, do you remember the Family Guy did Star Wars? They did the trilogy, didn't they?
Yeah.
What if it was like that? What if it was like an irreverent Rick and Morty, Family Guy, Simpsons type parody of that?
Well, funnily enough, we said when we were watching this, we said, didn't we? If this was more self-aware, if this was more aware of how silly it is or how nonsensical it is, if you have these there's famous people in this that come in and out as varying characters. If it had been more self-aware, where they come in and there's audience clapping and, all this kind of stuff, it might have actually worked. But the sheer fact is, this is so abundantly serious in places that it falls flat. It's like a weird, horrible hour-and-a-half sitcom special where all the characters are just in misery. It's like what would happen if Golden Girls were held to ransom over an hour-and-a-half special, but there was no comedy, no laughing. It was just three old people getting persecuted by a robber. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't fit canonically. It doesn't work. It doesn't feel like Star Wars either. It's weird. It's bizarre. There's things, you got the Millennium Falcon flying around, there's cuts from A New Hope dashing around. You got stormtroopers, you got Death Squad troopers, you've got people in Imperial uniforms, you got a cantina, you got the cantina moment, you got the Fergan Dan and the modal nodes. You've got it all, but it's still, it's flaccid. It's like a cardboard cutout. Copy and paste drudgery signifies nothing.
It is an absolute drudgery. And I said this during our commentary that it feels like a live show. Because there's lots of...
It should be a live show. The way they do several shots, it's almost like they thought, oh, maybe we'll get an audience. And then the last minute went, nah, we'll not bother.
You know what? I think maybe it has the setup for a live show, like it's filmed in front of a live studio audience.
Yeah.
Because that would make sense with the camera setup, the amount of cameras they do. And they're filming it like that. Like, it's almost like... It looks like they're filling for time, like they've fucked up, they've missed a line, something's happened, and they're just like, carry on, don't look like anything's gone. The show must go on, that type of thing.
There's so many points where people are just sat at a table watching something, and I really hate when people are sat at tables and things. I've only just started to notice that recently, and it's all because of Marvel. I really hate when people are sat at tables doing nothing or talking about the plot. Yeah. It really annoys me. But in this, they're literally doing nothing. They're sat at tables staring at one of the Toshibas. And like, what are you doing? And then it cuts to a song or a dance or some other thing. And it's like, what is this? What is this? When in A New Hope did anyone sit at a table and watch a TV? What?
But even if they did, it had something to do. It was moving the story along. It was
Yeah, it's 2-3 seconds.
Yeah, like the holographic chess they play in the Millennium Falcon. Yeah, that's a fun little thing, but it lasts like 30 seconds.
But with that, you get a sense of a character. So Chewbacca's losing, and Han goes, "Oh, don't piss him off because he'll rip your arm off." So we get, "Oh, bloody hell, Chewbacca's a bit violent." Okay, so you've had that character sort of development, kind of thing there. And where the droids go, "Let him win," it gives you there's a little bit of a spark of fun. Here, there's no fun. It's not fun. I don't even know.
Here's a question. Do you think they've softened Chewbacca over time? Like, because he started off as quite a dangerous, imposing, kind of tall creature, Sasquatch type thing.
Yeah.
And he would rip your arms off. Because in this society, the Wookiee society within this, Kashyyyk, Kazook, whatever you want to call it, doesn't seem like they would rip like Lumpy is pissing off Itchy to no end.
Yeah,
it doesn't feel like he's going to rip his arms off.
No,
and I feel like he probably would.
Yeah, I mean, we never really got a sense of how powerful the Wookiees are, have we? We've seen bits and pieces of it. Like, we've seen the strength, haven't we? But we've never really seen sort of like the warrior violence. We get a bit of it in Revenge of the Sith, but again, we don't really see too much. We see them charging at the droids and everything, but we don't really see them, as a warrior race, fighting hand to hand, if you like. You see it a bit in Return of the Jedi when Chewie's flinging stormtroopers around on top of each other, but again, it's only very briefly. I do think they kind of were reluctant to maybe show too much of that side. You know it, and he's a big imposing creature, so you can imagine it. I think the imagination is perfectly fine in that sense. I think,
yeah, maybe
you can imagine the potential. And there's been video games where the Wookiees are supremely much more powerful and
of course,
can cause significant damage. But
I think you're right. Maybe showing it would probably be a bit too much, or or showing that
much the same as the Ewoks, massacring the Imperials and eating them and cooking them and
all the war crimes.
Drums, it happens, but we don't see it. But it's it's happened. The massacre of the Imperials on Endor.
Absolutely, I do get a sense that George Lucas loves the Wookiees, loves the world and the kind of the lore of the Wookiees that he's created, because he handed over a book, like a Bible, a Wookiee Bible or a Star Wars Bible, to the guys at CBS who produced this, and they said, this is the template. Originally, A New Hope was going to open with a Wookiee telling his son the story of Star Wars, so he wanted to kind of bring that back. That was thankfully cut from A New Hope.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
But you wanted to kind of get that idea, and that was his one thing. He was like, got to be about the Wookiees, the framing device for this episode, for this movie, if you will, a TV special.
Yeah.
And like Bruce Vilanch, who's quite famous for writing, he wrote this and several other writers wrote this, but he was like, well, it's going to be a really long episode of Lassie, isn't it? Like, what is it, girl? What is it? She's falling down the well? Oh. And he's right. He's right. So he's like, he bumped up the part of Sawn Dawn, I think the character is, who's played by Art Carney, who was star of The Honeymooners, comedic actor, has done a lot of sitcoms and stuff. They bumped his role up because obviously it's like, the only way that Chewie ever communicates is somebody repeats what he says in English. Like, which is an issue we had with the Ewok films, is that there was long stretches of no subtitles, no dialogue. And I don't...
Why you get that awful bloody faux David Attenborough fucking
narration,
documentary narration thing at the start. There's that whole opening 9 minutes of this. When you said it's been 9 minutes, I went, is that all? Because it's something to that effect. But
I don't know the length exactly of it, but it opens with... It opens well. I'll give it that. It opens well. It opens with Chewie and Han in the Millennium Falcon being chased by TIE fighters. Great. They're shooting back. They're trying to escape. We've got to get Chewie home for Life Day. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, because God Almighty, let's not forget that we're in the middle of a galactic civil war. We've just blown up the fucking Death Star and we're being hunted by a revengeful empire. But oh my God, we've got to get back for fucking Life Day. It's driving home for Life Day. Fuck off. Whatever.
But it opens well, but then it goes into literally Marla, Itchy, and Lumpy. So Marla's the wife, Itchy's the grandfather, and Lumpy, or Lumpawarump, I think is the full name. I'm not sure about Itchy's full name or Marla's full name, but
Itchy Backer. He's Itchy Backer in this.
Is it? Itchy Backer, Lumpy Backer, Marla Backer. Whatever they're called, whatever the in-canon name is for them. Those are awful names, by the way. Like, why, of all the descriptive, like, you're naming them after an STI or something.
Yeah, well, to be fair, Itchy does look like what would happen if you left your bollocks out in the snow and, just treat them badly.
It looks more like an old Wampa.
Yeah, it does, actually. Yeah, he does. Yeah, he looks much more like a Wampa than he does. I mean, maybe they might have sprung off from that when it came to making the Wampa. I don't really know, but yeah, he doesn't resemble a Wookiee. I referred him to as just a drunken mess on Strongbow just the entire time, and he looks like that. He's got this slovenly fella. He's very unkempt. In my current line of work, if I came across him, I'd put in a care plan, just to ensure that he's all right. Refer him to other services, but it's just. The name's the least of the problem.
Yeah, true.
But they're the fundamental basis of just complete and utter idiocy and nonsensicalness.
Yeah, that's the tip of the iceberg is the shit names. Itchy has this old man gurn, which makes him look even more disturbing than he already is. And Lumpy,
he's clearly just clambering for more Strongbow.
Yeah, he's just got this underbite, I guess you would call it almost. And Lumpy has the eyes of a devil, a demon.
It's like a soul trapped in a doll. Just staring out, like glazed over expression, going, "I will kill you if I get out of here."
And those first 9 minutes, not much happens. It's just. It's just a lot of that, and
fanning about with one of the Toshibas in the corner. Like, what are you doing?
Marla's making a meal. Itchy's like carving or whittling some X-wing toys out of wood. Yeah. Lumpy is playing with.
Yeah, the first time you see Lumpy, he's coming down the stairs going. But that noise carries on for about a minute and a half, if not longer. And it's just constantly flinging, like you did when you were a kid with a plane or an X-wing or a Y-wing, like I had. And you're just going, you're trying to make the sound effects. You had a TIE fighter, that kind of thing. Replicating what you've seen in the films. He's trying to do that, but it sounds like a mass of hornets coming to end the suffering of all of us.
If only.
But it's bizarre. I mean, because there's nothing said. But there's stuff said, but obviously we don't know what they're saying because they're talking in Wookiees or whatever it is. Yeah. I should really find out what the language is. But anyway, yeah, they're just talking in the native Wookiee language, no subtitles. So we're just sat there going, okay. It's like we just went round to somebody's house and we don't speak the language and they're talking away and you go, yeah, all right, this is okay. Yeah. Maybe I shouldn't be ignorant. Maybe I should learn the language. And you almost feel a bit when I was watching this, I was almost like in my head, it was almost like I should really know what they're saying, and I feel bad that I don't because it might be quite interesting. But you haven't given me the means or the opportunity to understand what they're saying. So I'm just watching 9 minutes of judgery.
Well, like we were saying, like if it was done as like in the form of a silent film or something, like originally it was supposed to only be like half an hour. So I think if it was half an hour, that this section would have been about 5 minutes, maybe less. And that would have been fine. And then you'd introduce your human characters and you'd have someone to bounce off of. But again, the way that George Lucas has designed the Wookiees, and he's like, this is the thing, the Wookiees do this and they do that, and this is how it is. That cannot be changed. Everything else, I think, was up to artistic interpretation. But he was like, this is the Bible, this is a religious thing, and then work around that. And the framing device is dreadful anyway. The segments are all various degrees of dreadful. This was at a time where variety shows were out of fashion anyway. People hated variety shows at this point, and they still went, let's do a variety show. I said
you can literally tell that a group of like aging executives at CBS went, this is how we'll do it. We've got this brand new IP that's taken the world by storm. We're not going to do anything that made the IP special. We're just going to do what we've always done because we know it works in the past. When they just completely fucking missed the point. That's the thing with the holiday special, with the Ewok films. They missed the point. They completely missed the point. And I honestly, I can't understand and I can't defend anyone. And this is going to make me sound like a fucking, my way or no way kind of person. But I'm sorry, but I don't believe you. If you say this is good, I do not believe you and I won't believe you. I can't believe you because it's not. It was buried for a reason. This was buried. George, you said earlier when we were talking, George Lucas' name is not on this for a reason because it's awful. It is awful. The Ewok films are awful. Yeah, okay, his name is all over them, but again, if he wanted them to be, they would have been out in the public on DVD, 4K, Blu-ray over the last 30 years.
There would have been.
They weren't. They were hidden. There was a VHS release that failed. It only succeeded in Germany. I know that because I lived there and I remember seeing them on a VHS tape over there.
Wow.
But other than that, they were hidden. They were banished into the ether of darkness before the adventure of the bloody internet. They would never have seen the light of day ever again if it weren't for hardcore nutters like myself and Dan determined to peruse ourselves through this nonsense and dreadfulness.
Absolutely. Well, I will say there is one person who did love, as a child, loved the Star Wars Holiday Special, unironically at the time, and that is a James Gunn, who is bringing to Disney Plus next year a Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special.
See, that might fit because it probably fit the characters. The problem here with this Star Wars special, it doesn't fit the characters and it doesn't treat it. You say it's a variety show, but it's too serious in the segments that aren't variety-esque. You got the singing, you got the dancing, you got the musical numbers, you got little magic tricks and whatever. But the rest of it it's like a drama episode. It doesn't fit. If you're going to do a variety show, you play up to that. You have audience engagement, you have audience involvement, but it's not. It's played out like an episode of bloody Midsummer Murders.
Like this is what we said. Again, we spoke on the commentary. We said that maybe if it was in front of a live studio audience, maybe if it had a laughter track, it wouldn't drag as horribly. But also, it's filmed with like maybe 2 cameras, and there's no editing really involved, so it just makes it seem even longer and more drawn out.
Yeah. It drags.
We only watched
an hour and 35 minutes, and it drags.
Absolutely. Even I was, and this is my second viewing of it, and even I was like, "Fuck me, is it over yet?"
Yeah.
Arc. Like, and even then, it's not, the conclusion is not satisfying at all.
No,
it
just ends.
If anything, it brings up more questions about Life Day.
Yeah, that's just it. They never go into Life Day at all. There's this big importance about getting Chewbacca back for Life Day, and then he's back, and they have like a weird sort of like round life tree celebration thing. But they never go into any detail of what it really means to the Wookiees.
So I've gone on Wikipedia. I've got a lot of my research for this podcast off Wikipedia.
Good. And God bless the people at Wikipedia for
absolutely
really going into this.
Yeah, and
I haven't got the patience for it.
No, and what they've done well, I've got a little game we're going to play a little later, Andy. And
son of a bitch.
And it's called Is It Canon? So I'm going to pick. I'm going to pick segments, characters, kind of objects, things from this particular holiday special, and you have to tell me if that particular thing is in canon or is it in Legends. And again, the guys at Wikipedia have done a great job because they have like literally everything you can find Star Wars related. They break it down into Legends and they break it into canon, and you can go onto either page and look at the history of both, and the references are all there and everything. So God bless them.
Exposing son of a bitch. You're going to expose me to the drudgery of canon versus non-canon. Yes. I'm going to get lost even higher at this point. Everything that Disney's doing of making things canon and non-canon, even I'm at the moment like, I don't friggin' know anymore.
Does it even matter?
Is Darth Revan canon? No, but apparently he is. Okay.
So this is the description.
Is it Chewbacca canon? No, but yeah, apparently, yeah, he is because he was seen somewhere else. I don't fucking know. All right.
Before we get into that, that's not till towards the end, but
thank you. Got to sparing my blushes.
To be fair, I might have given you already some clues, throughout this podcast and throughout the commentary we did. You might have already picked up on some clues.
Everything's just being clouded by pure disarray and misery.
Anyway, this is the in canon description of what Life Day is. So Life Day was marked by the celebration of family, joy, and harmony. Values and tenets of Wookie culture. Life Day celebrations involved a feast and a journey to the Tree of Life, which represented the first seed and spark of life on the planet Kashyyyk. Said tree was decorated with crystalline life day orbs.
What?
And rituals were conducted around it. The feast involved shock fruits.
You mean Louisiana Creole?
Roshir lice syrup, and most of all, the sacred auger roots, which had been foraged from the Shadowlands in the days before the celebrations.
Of course.
So there you go. So the holiday doesn't bother to explain it at all. So that's there you go. I have given you Star Wars supplementary material, much like the like you said, all the current films do. They don't explain stuff. They leave it for the comics and the novels.
Yeah, which awful. Fuck yourself. Oh, okay, fine. That's the explanation. But they've pretty much just described what happens in the film, really, haven't they?
Some specifics, yeah.
Other stuff that's been picked out from other source material, video games, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough. Yeah, I guess kind of matches, kind of fits, but still you can't explain it straight away, can you? You've got to watch it flush down. So yeah.
So we spoke about the consumption of drugs watching this film because we thought it might help, but also. The writer, Bruce Valanche, again mentioning him, he has admitted that he was using cocaine very heavily as he wrote this.
I am not surprised. Not surprised. Everyone was clearly doing it on the show as well. Not least, God rest her soul, Carrie Fisher.
Oh yeah, that section where she struggles to walk from behind a table is particularly sad yet hilarious all at the same time.
I love her. I miss her greatly. But my word, she was on something that day.
Oh, I think all of those days she was shooting, yeah. Definitely.
No one covers themselves in glory, really, do they? I mean, Mark Hamill looks like he's still in pain following his crash.
Yes, of course,
you can tell because when we were watching it, I was like, he's either on some strong painkillers there, or he's desperate to get back to the hospital or something. I'm not sure when it was filmed, whether it was done before his crash or whatever, but. It almost looks like he doesn't want to be there. Funnily enough, I thought Harrison Ford seemed to be the only one that was trying to be really invested in it.
Really
enough. Yeah, just with his mannerisms. He was portraying Han Solo. Like everybody else looked like they were just wearing the costume of their characters. Even Mark Hamill, because he was only in that one little bit, really. He came back at the end and whatever, but. Yeah, they just looked like they were wearing the costume and they were reading lines that were on a placard, whereas Harrison Ford seemed to be trying to get some more of those mannerisms in that we'd seen of him. Yeah. When he's sneaking up on the stormtrooper at the end, he's doing that very sort of like Han Solo sort of gunslinger thing where he's ready to sort of pounce on him. But even then, it's just Harrison Ford being a good actor. He probably did not give a shit. Absolutely probably didn't give a shit. Just a good actor.
Do you think it was the same feeling he had when he was doing that Blade Runner narration?
Yeah. I'm doing it because I'm getting paid. Don't care. Yeah, very much so.
Hans, I think you're right in some respects, but I think the main issue with Carrie and Luke and Mark Hamill's roles is they have to look directly at the camera, which is really disconcerting and really odd.
It's unnerving, isn't it?
Yeah.
It exposes them and it exposes you because you're staring into the souls of people that aren't really sure what they're doing or why they're doing it. We've both done. I mean, we're not high paid actors. We're not Hollywood stars or anything, but we've both done acting jobs where we've been there and gone, what the absolute fuck am I doing? What am I supposed to do? And we make it up on the spot.
Yeah.
We do it and we get away with it. It's clear that might have been the case here. They made it up. You get away with it. Fair enough. You're able to buy some garden furniture. Congratulations.
One of my biggest acting achievements once was that I got a new job. It was a touring kind of school shows, and we were doing various different kind of things like inspector calls and all sorts of that sort of shit. And the first script I got was a pirate pantomime. We were doing it in like bloody May or something, but it was a pirate pantomime, and I was the lead in the pirate pantomime. I was sent 10 pages. I went, okay, so it's fairly short. It's going to be maybe half an hour, maybe, because usually it's like when you look at scripts, it's roughly like a minute a page, isn't it? Roughly, depending.
Yeah, that's what they say, don't they?
Yeah, roughly. Obviously, it depends what's on the page and everything, and how you choreograph it, blah blah blah. But they were like, and I turned up on the day, literally, we didn't rehearse. There was no rehearsal time, so we just had
to rock up.
I got paid £25 a show. Just fucking nothing really. And it was the only money I was making at that point. I did get a job, obviously, because I can't live on £25 a show, or with like 3 shows a week or something.
Yeah.
And I rocked up and I said, "How long is this supposed to be, by the way?" And they went, "An hour and a half."
What?
I was like, "There's 10 pages here." And they were like, "Yeah, just spaff it out. Just, you know." And for the life of me, I don't know how I did it. I don't know how all of us did it, but we managed to stretch those 10 pages into an hour and a half. I do not know how. Don't ask me. Do not even ask me. There was a lot of pratfalling, I remember. But we managed to stretch that. The kids loved it. Teachers loved it and everything. But fucking hell, it was an improvising masterclass.
I get the same sort of sense from this, really, because like you said earlier, there's a lot of stretching out. There's a lot of filler. There's a lot of nonsense. There's a lot of people just milling about, doing things, clicking their fingers. The Imperial officers that come in just click their fingers and direct the stormtroopers to do whatever they're doing. And they're not even sure they're quite sure what they're doing either.
And half the Imperial officers don't speak. That scene where we introduce Saundan and his shop and his tiny little fucking aquarium and his little thing that syncopates, dilates, curls hair, and reads the penal code out. You know, there's an officer in that, and I said to Andy, I went. They dub him in this. I don't know why, but they dub him because his mouth never fucking moves. I was like, maybe his helmet's on too tight. I don't know. Yeah, but. It's really weird, and I think you said there's a different fucking voice that comes out of him at one point. Yeah,
there is towards the end. The voice completely changes. This is probably there's obviously what we saw was a bootleg version, so there might have been multiple layers at play here because at one point our version goes into like a Spanish version, doesn't it?
It did. Yeah.
There might be multiple layers of multiple different releases. That's why maybe the voice changes or some things don't really sit right. But you still can't get away from the fact that it's poorly constructed, it's poorly made, poorly designed, and poorly executed across the board. Really.
Did you laugh at any actual jokes, or were you just laughing at it?
There were jokes.
Yeah, apparently. Harvey Corbin.
I say that honestly. I'm not that. Yeah. That's not me fucking about.
Yeah.
If there were jokes, I completely missed them. To be honest, I never laughed at anything. I laughed at things that were happening, things that were going on because of... So the framing device is that the Wookiees basically keep turning on these secret TVs to watch shit in their house. So... the Toshibas. Yeah, the many Toshibas. I'm sure that's a race in Star Wars as well. I come for a race of Toshibas. Anyway, so let's talk about the segments. So we'll start... Yes. I have to talk about something. So the first kind of variety segment is called the Great Zorbax Circus. Again, thank you, Wikipedia, because I was like, what is this even called? What is this circus of misery?
So it's like a holographic table, like we said, in the chess in the Falcon, and it brings up basically a circus, gymnastics, all sorts of stuff. And Lumpy is just watching that, and with the most disturbed look on his face ever. He's watching like somebody's watching a dirty channel in the middle of the night. It's like when Bart gets hold of the Midnight Blue channel when Homer gets cable. It's literally like that. He's like, and to its credit, in the special, there is the use of a lot of John Williams music and rearrangements and slowed down versions of it. But this music in this is horrific. It's awful. Yeah. It makes my ears bleed. It's like the gymnastics and stuff isn't bad. Like, it's not bad circus stuff. In fact, the people in this went on to form Cirque du Soleil. So some good came out of this. Somebody succeeded where others failed. But yeah, it's not great. I'm trying to remember all the segments now. There's so many. They're all forgettable. Yeah. What was isn't the next segment the one where they're doing the Louisiana Creole? Oh yeah. Do you want to talk about that one? We started watching basically Nala, isn't it? She's cooking up the feast for Life Day, Christmas Day, whatever you want. And basically she's putting a recording of a cooking show, and unfortunately I kind of sort of went, is she doing the thing is the character doing the thing that we're not allowed to do anymore? Is there a racist thing going on here? Yeah. Basically, the character has clearly done something to their makeup to make them darker in appearance. And at first, it was kind of like,
it hit me straight away. As soon as I saw it, I went, "Oh no, what are they doing?" And they've tried. It almost looks like they're trying to palm it off as though it's an alien thing. Like it's a very grey sort of makeup, isn't it? But there's a stereotype there.
Yeah,
for me, there's a stereotype there because they're throwing all these ingredients into this massive crock pot, and just the way the mannerisms are, it's very much like you've seen in Song of the South or in
troubling, very troubling.
Gone with the Wind, and it's like no, God, you cannot fucking do this. And it's only very minor. That's only me sort of like seeing it and going immediately. But
I think for me, like, it might sound bad that I didn't spot it. But
that's it, because it's subtle, isn't it?
Yeah, the joke. There's like in every section, there's basically one joke. So the joke in this is the chef actually is an alien and has 4 arms. And I think because of that, and because I knew that and I've seen it before, I was like, I know that, and I know that's the joke, and I know that's coming. I think that's probably why I didn't see it myself. But once Andy pointed it out, and once Andy was pointing out like the gumbo pot and shit like that, I was like, yeah, this is not great.
It was the hair, the dress, the size of the character as well. It was kind of like, oh, this is a stereotype of what you see in those kind of films.
Problematic.
From like the 40s and 50s and whatever. So, 30s, 40s, 50s.
Yeah, the kind of the minstrel shows and that sort of thing. Which is awful. But yeah, it's not good for that reason, and it's not good anyway. It's not good as a comedy sketch.
Yeah, it's a terrible segment. Yeah, like just in general, it's not funny. It's not very entertaining. I don't even know what she ends up making, really.
Yeah, she references the bantha loins and the bantha rump and stuff like that. Like that's supposed to be funny.
Amazing how they get bantha on Kashyyyk, but never mind.
Well, maybe they watched the Mos Eisley TV show and saw a bantha in that. Yeah,
just imagine some sandperson butcher at the Mos Eisley bloody butcher station. No subtitles, just there.
I'll tell you what, if George Lucas had his way, we probably would have got a no subtitle Jawa sandperson special. Like a summer special or something.
Houdini!
Houdini! Oh, Jesus. And then we'd be like, what the fuck is going on? We don't know. Just
no one knows. Nobody
knows. Just watch it. Star Wars. Be happy. It's Star Wars. No. We also have the I want to call the wank machine.
Oh my Lord. I thought he was going getting a perm. But then it's
you were like, what is this? What is this? And I was like, no, you just watch this and you find out. Why don't you tell people about the wankinator?
Chewbacca gets put in this big chair, like a gaming chair, and there's a big sort of like hat thing that gets put on. You see when Marge Simpson gets in The Simpsons when she gets her hair done. And I was like, oh, is he getting a perm? But no, it's like some weird virtual reality porn thing, isn't it? Where he's watching some woman sing to him. But at first it's like there's weird sort of like creatures swimming, and I sort of likened it to from Fantasia, Night on Bald Mountain, when the ghosts are writhing around in sexual manner. It looks like that.
Yeah.
It's like, what is this? This is for kids? Is it? And she just
that's how you do a film with no dialogue. That's how you do a film with no dialogue.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about the music, all about the visuals. That is how you do it properly.
Yeah.
I zoned out the song, didn't listen to it, don't really care. I'm sure you're going to tell us what it's about.
Well,
but yeah, he seems to get off on it, doesn't he? He gets very excited. He enjoys himself, and then
you could get away with it a little bit. But everything she says before she starts the song is really sexual. Like, I am your fantasy. You created me. I am your creation. Do what you want with me. So it's really kind of like you could get away with just like, oh, it's just a beautiful woman and she's going to sing a song. But no, they really fucking hammer home how sexualized it is. And apparently it was the producer. So the producer called Mitzi Welch, said the sequence with Diane Carroll, who was originally supposed to be Cher. They wanted Cher to play that role. And she rightly turned that down.
Don't blame her.
So softcore porn that would pass the censors, quote.
Fucking hell.
So yeah, that was their idea, which is it's a family show. So
Yeah, it is. What the actual hell?
just bizarre. Also, you'll notice at the beginning, R2D2 is not played by Kenny Baker. R2D2
No.
is himself because they used, and again, Kenny Baker very rightly turned this down, and R2D2 is the remote control version that they used when Kenny Baker wasn't in the R2D2.
I don't blame him. He had morals. He had standards.
So we talked about poor Carrie Fisher, haven't we? And we've talked about Luke and his car accident. This is a quote from B. Arthur. So my favorite segments, the two best segments for me, are the animated segment by Calvana.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm not a massive fan of the style of animation.
No, it's very old. It's an old animation style that doesn't really work. But
however, the designs, the story, the voice acting, all holds up. And this is the only thing you can get from the Star Wars Holiday Special on Disney Plus. So it's clearly something they are proud of to some degree.
Yeah,
like people go, you know what, that was all right. And again, Boba Fett's appearance was actually at a parade. So it wasn't actually in the cartoon as many people think. His correct colouring and costume was in the parade, and then this colouring and design actually held over for the Droids cartoon. Same with C-3PO and R2-D2's design because it was done by the same animation company.
Yeah,
but and that's one of the best things. It's got lots of.
It was like a Marin County Parade, I think it was.
It was like San
1978.
Yeah, it was like San something.
San.
What is it called?
San Anselmo.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
I had a note somewhere here about it, but I can't find it.
I'm sure that's what it was. 1978.
So I've got some quotes from some of the stars. Would you like to hear them?
Absolutely, I really would. Nothing would please me more.
Actually, I'm gonna give you this quote because I've found this one, and this is the darkest yet funniest quote I've found on the Star Wars Holiday Special.
Delightful.
So, Lucasfilm consultant Mickey Herman said this about the special and the special's release. The day after the special aired was the day of the Jonestown Massacre. It was just a bad time for everyone.
Fucking hell. Fuck my ass.
So he's saying that the massacre of all of those cult members was just as bad, or that the holiday special was just as bad as that.
I mean, Christ, I wouldn't go as far as to compare it to people dying, but yeah, fucking hell, man. That's how much it was hated on the inside, though. That just goes to show you this is not a good thing. This is not a good show. Don't defend it. Don't be so blind in your love and single-mindedness with Star Wars to fucking defend it. It's terrible. Admit it when something's terrible. Yeah. Don't cover it up.
Admit when you made a bad decision. I've spoken to people that voted for Brexit, and I just go admit it was a bad idea. It's fine that you made a mistake. You voted for Brexit.
Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody likes something, and then years later goes, "Oh God, actually, that was terrible."
Yeah. I voted.
I've gone the other way. I've watched something on, "Oh, that was fucking awful." Yeah. Rewatched it, gone, "You know what? That was brilliant, actually."
Yeah, reappraisals happen. Yeah, reappraisals happen. I voted for Nick Clegg, for God's sake, and I know that was a bad idea.
Yeah, we all did.
I will live with that for the rest of my days. Yeah. But I can admit it was a fucking mistake. Come on. Yeah. But yes. So here's a great one.
But again, none of that is as bad as people getting massacred. So
no, exactly. So so according to Carrie Fisher, George Lucas gave her a copy of the special as a gift for recording the DVD commentary on the original Star Wars: A New Hope. She claimed that she played it at parties when she wanted guests to leave.
Brilliant.
At the premiere of The Force Awakens, Harrison Ford asked how he'd feel about reprising his role as Han Solo for another potential Star Wars holiday special. To which he replied, "I'd kill myself."
Oh, God. I don't believe him. I believe him.
There you go. There you go. So, so you know what the cast and the crew felt about this. Oh, here it is. I found it. So before his appearance in the holiday special in November of 1978, on September 24th, 1978, Boba Fett made his first true public debut. He marched in the San Anselmo County Fair Parade using the color scheme used seen in The Empire Strikes Back. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Found it.
Very good. We still haven't found the purpose of this Hollywood special, though.
No, we are
holiday special.
We're going to find. We've got to find the purpose of Life Day. This is what the podcast is all about. We've got to find the purpose.
And I'm struggling.
So going back to the animated segment, there's some great animation. There's some great artwork. It's called the Faithful Wookie, and it's about they meet Boba Fett for the first time. Boba Fett tries to trick them into being friends so he can capture them for Darth Vader.
Yeah,
and they're all the while they're looking for this MacGuffin, this Jedi Force MacGuffin. Yeah, this talisman or something on this planet. I believe it's called Panna, but we'll go into that later. And it's all right. It's like 10, 15 minutes. It's fine. It's short, sweet. The acting's good. The animation's okay.
Yeah, and unlike anything else in this special, it actually moves at quite a brisk pace. Yeah, it's got a good pace to it. There's some really great visuals in it. Like the planet itself is really, really distinctive. It's got quite like a pinky tinge.
It's very watery. It's like a water planet.
Yeah, it's like a liquid sort of primordial soup kind of world where there's like dinosaur-looking creatures and everything. It's exactly like, it reminded me of, again, going back to Fantasia, when they do the dinosaur segment in that. Reminded me a little bit of that, with the primordial soup and the lakes of, mush and mud and things like that. It reminded me of that. So there's a lot to appreciate in it. Like, that's what it should have been. It should have been like brand new visuals, brand new ideas coming to the fore. And that's probably why this animated segment is the only thing that's been lifted really, to be available to view, because there are some interesting ideas. You've got Boba in a more Ralph McQuarrie sort of looking style and color, design and everything, which they are releasing figures for him, Black Series figures and the vintage collection, scale. And it's a good color. It's a good look.
I don't mind the color scheme. Yeah, I don't say I wouldn't say I prefer it, but I don't mind it.
I prefer the damaged sort of like green and much more like a Western kind of character color scheme. And for the purpose of the animated episode, the colors pop. Yeah. So the colors pop against the landscape, and the colors pop when he stood next to R2 and C-3PO and Chewbacca as well. So I think for the purpose of this animated segment, it's probably the best idea to have him in this different light. I mean, you could chalk it up to that he was trying to be covert and not be identified as Boba if you wanted to. But yeah, it's really, really good segment. Surprisingly good as well, I think.
Yeah, it is an interesting thing as well. So the design for Boba Fett originally, it came from Joe Johnston, the director of Captain America: First Avenger, The Wolfman, Rocketeer. He worked on the Indiana Jones films as well. So he did a Super Stormtrooper, but he also did a variant of where Darth Vader was a bounty hunter, and it was initially like all white. It was like a Stormtrooper design.
Yeah, it was. I've got that up. I've got a figure of that. The prototype armor. Yeah, I've got nice. A prototype where it's all just white.
Nice.
I've been trying to get the prototype helmet for a while as well. But yeah, that's how we started up. It was meant to be a Super Stormtrooper that they were going to use in Empire. And then they realized they couldn't afford to make multiples. So they repurposed him and made him Boba.
So you were talking earlier about the vocalizations of the Wookiees. So I've got some more trivia about that. So
good.
Ben Burt created Marla and Itchy's vocalizations from recordings of bears and lions at an Olympic game farm in Sequim, Washington. And for Lumpy's vocalizations, he used the recording of a baby bear at the San Diego Zoo. Some of these recordings were later used in the Lego Star Wars Holiday Special over 40 years later.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Absolutely. So I want to talk about my next favorite section, or least shit section. The Mos Eisley Cantina section. the Imperial Stormtrooper. So during the plot, whatever you want to, if you could call it a plot, there is a blockade that Darth Vader institutes and a search going on in every house in the galaxy, which you stated would be impossible.
Yeah. I want every house in the system checked. What? What?
Good luck.
But sir, do you realize the manpower restraints? We just lost the Death Star. We just lost several million of our forces. No, still check them. Every single house. Okay, sir. What?
Good luck.
What?
And putting a blockade on the entire...
Yeah.
How do you put a blockade on the entire fucking galaxy?
Yeah, but oh my word. Well, the blockade doesn't work anyway, does it? Because everybody manages to get through.
Saundorn gets through.
So you're like, the Empire and the Trade Federation are the worst organizations for putting planetary blockades on. To be honest, aren't they? Let's be fair.
Shite.
Absolutely terrible. But never mind.
So we have B. Arthur as I guess the owner of the bar, the Cantina bar, and we have the, like you said, the figurine Dan and the modal nodes playing there, and kind of feels a little bit more like Star Wars because the
we get all
there.
We get all the little weird looking aliens that we got in A New Hope, in the werewolf looking one. He's in there.
Yeah, the devil guy.
The devil guy comes in.
Yeah.
You even get the little inflections of the laughs and everything and discussions. You even get the guy who gets his arm chopped off by Obi-Wan Kenobi. He's in there. He's got his arm back as well. He's happy as Larry.
Look with his bollocks chin.
The only one you don't get is Dr. Evans, and the one goes, "He doesn't like you." He doesn't come in. I think he's still struggling. I think he's probably in rehab.
Jesus.
But it does feel more like Star Wars in that little bit.
I love that.
You have all the banter going. There's banter being thrown left, right, and centre as well, which is just quite good. People getting chucked out by this big bouncer. You know, you get those little things that sort of add to it.
It feels like a musical number, like you know, Les Mis, where they have the Master of the House and all that, and it's in a raucous bar and stuff. It feels a little bit like that. It's the closest to like a proper musical number that I enjoy. The Jefferson Starship is fine. It's not a terrible song. It's not great. It's not. But again, he's singing into a giant purple dildo. You know, lightsaber dildo thing going on. But it's just a Jefferson Starship song. You know, which I got confused between Jefferson Airplane, Jefferson Starship, and Starship.
Yeah. All these different bands with the different names. Fucking hell. Well, Jefferson, Airplane, Starship, Starship, Jefferson, Airplane, Jefferson, Jefferson. I don't know. It's so many.
So many Jeffersons.
Thomas Jefferson. He's here as well. What?
The Jeffersons.
The Jetsons.
Jefferson Jarrett.
Flintstones. Bam Bam. What's going on?
But we have B. Arthur of the Golden Girls running the pub. Harvey Korman that we spoke about earlier, who I think the worst one is the android segment, where he's teaching Lumpy how to build a kind of a communication device so he can tell the Imperials to leave the house while they're searching. And it's just boring. All it is he's an android teaching someone how to fix this bit of equipment. And he starts kind of glitching and starts like, you know, and like, you know, all that, and physically like twitching and stuff.
Yeah,
it's just not funny, and it's a lot of it's done via editing, and not even the actor doing it. It
is. It's all edited. It's not him doing it himself, which might have been more interesting if he was actually doing it himself, but it's not. It's just crafty editing that doesn't work. And
it goes on way too long. It's uninteresting. It's boring. Like, who thought instructional videos on how to cook and how to build a device or communication device would be interesting with one joke in them, one singular joke?
Nightmare.
Anyway, he comes in and he's this volcano-headed guy. He drinks through a giant orifice in his head. And he basically is like, "Oh, you said something to me the other night, made me fall in love with you." And it turns out to be something she says to everybody in the bar.
Yeah,
you know, it's not something like, you know, she's trying to basically, he's being a bit of a creepy dude, and she's trying to play off him, but she does it in an entertaining way, and she's trying to be sensitive, but she's also trying to, like, you know, stay the fuck away from me, you weirdo. Oh, let me get you another drink. I'll get you another drink. Here you go. Buy more things at the bar, quick. And then this, and it's weird because they make the Imperials go, "You must watch this. This is very important that you watch this."
Yeah. Again, why? I don't really know.
And it was like, we're going to show you Tatooine just so your lives will be uplifted because at least you're not fucking living in Tatooine, eh?
Yeah.
But then at the bar, they're watching the Imperial communication.
The same one that's being played to the Imperials at the same time. So it's like they're watching something that happened in the past, which is actually happening in the future, present.
All at the same time. It's
The only thing that's missing from this sequence is literally bloody Mr. Scrooge just coming round like, oh, it's the ghost of Christmas present and past and future, and the Empire's here as well. Happy days.
I tell you what, that would have been a fucking interesting idea if they just did a Star Wars Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
You could do it with the Force ghosts. You could do the whole fucking thing. Do that.
If it's self-aware of itself.
Yeah, exactly.
It's playing up to the comedy of it. Yeah, I'd buy that. I'd buy that because it'd actually be something different, something a bit creatively challenging as well.
Yeah, fucking hell. And you can tell such stories. Like you can have like Yoda could be the Christmas past or the Life Day past. You could have like, I don't know, what bloody Anakin as the present or Rey as the future, whatever the story is you want to tell. But like that's a fucking like just that off the top of my head is a better idea than any of this.
Yeah, definitely.
Like I've read Batman comics that do it, and it works fairly well. Like they do the. If
you play up to it, you can make it work.
It's a classic, and it works within the framework. Everyone gets it. Everyone knows that story back to front. Yeah. You could pick any character, and you could do that with any like. Make it fucking Jabba or something and have all the people come because he's greedy, likes money and shit, or make it one of the other kind of scoundrel characters. Make it fucking Lando or the guy from Rogue One or Benicio del Toro's character in whatever the sequel that was.
Could you imagine?
Yeah,
I imagine Benicio del Toro wanting to come back. He got that paycheck and ran as fast as he could.
So B. Arthur, she has a lot of Broadway credits. So she was in the original Fiddler on the Roof on Broadway. So she has the stage presence, the experience, and the singing ability to actually make this scene sort of work.
Yeah. She commands the scene entirely. And it actually it appears interesting. It appears to be an interesting scene. I think it's probably the only part other than the animated section where actually, was somewhat listening in, even though it doesn't really make any sense or add anything to the proceedings.
No,
it does come across as quite a good bit.
I will say that the two bits that I like the most in the framing device make no fucking sense. So like we said, the cartoon is weird because they're a secret rebel organization.
Yeah.
A legal rebel organization. And they're making a cartoon about their adventures after the fact to entertain children. I don't really get it. Surely you would be like, none of these adventures will ever be.
Yeah, we want to keep quiet and secretive and all.
Yeah,
that.
we're going
to do an animated show.
Yeah, we'll make records of it, but we won't fucking broadcast the shit.
Just the entirety of like they're constantly in communication back and forth, aren't they? Like the Chewbacca's family, they're constantly in communication back and forth between Luke, Han, Leia, and if the Empire had any nous about them, all they'd have to do is track the communications and they'd find all three of them. So it's a bit sort of like they're just. I know it's only a special; it's only meant to be a bit of fun, but fucking hell,
But also, it's like
you can't negate the fundamentals of what is happening in the films just to make something fucking
work
cheap and cheerful and make it work. They're a terrorist organization being hunted down by an oppressive fascist regime. Come on.
Yeah. And like,
be careful what you're doing.
And like, we get its Life Day. Obviously, it's a special day for the Wookiees and everything. But they keep contacting every other fucker apart from the people they should be contacting.
Yeah.
And even then, I'm like, it's like there's more importance about getting home for Life Day, not surviving, being chased down by TIE fighters, which could, kill them. It's more, the importance is put on getting home, like you said, driving home for Life Day. That's the importance when really it should be like, maybe he's fucking dead, and then
he's fighting an intergalactic civil war. Jesus Christ, he can't come home for Christmas. Imagine that.
Yeah,
the American Civil War. You're like, oh wait, I've got to go home now. I've got to go home for Life Day.
Yeah.
What?
You got a bayonet. You got a bayonet in your gut, and you're like, oh, sorry, mate, I can't die here. I've got to go home for Life Day.
World War II, storming the beaches of Normandy. We're going to go back. It's Life Day. What? Are you kidding me?
You snap,
Fucking hell.
you get all your Nazi scalps and you're like, right, I'll bring those home for Christmas.
Fucking hell.
But
It just doesn't make any sense, does it? It's literally like it's
bizarre.
just cobbled together shite in the guise of something really great.
Oh dear. Oh, it's you're making me laugh so much my neck hurts.
my neck hurts from having to bear the weight of watching this.
So I will say I'll go back to B. Arthur. This will be the last couple of things I say about the section. But B. Arthur said, "It was a wonderful time, but I had no idea it was even a part of the whole Star Wars thing. I've gotten so many letters and requests for autograph photos from that thing. I just remember singing to a bunch of people with funny heads."
Oh, that's the problem overall, isn't it? Nobody had a fucking clue what they were doing. That's the problem. That's the problem. It's just a jumbled mess of randomly selected and filmed elements. There's nothing to it, is there?
And you see, you pointed out the giant rat in the cantina scene, which is actually a leftover prop from the film H.G. Wells' Food of the Gods, which involves giant animals or animals eating something and it makes them grow massive. And the character was created by SFX master Rick Baker, so known for his werewolf designs, werewolf Oscar win for American Werewolf in London, and also Stan Winston designed the Wookiees. So
it's slipped in the giant rat, as a bit of fun. Cool. Somebody did that with took years for anybody to realize, but somebody did that with the Millennium Falcon in Star Trek First Contact.
Really?
The battle scene between the Borg Cube and the Federation fleet, when the Defiant's getting its ass handed to it, you can see the Falcon fly on the left side of the screen. It flies from behind the cube off screen to the left. Reason being is one of the model designers for all the new Starfleet ships, because they made 5 or 6 brand new Starfleet ships, to fill out the battle sequences, so they weren't all just Enterprise or Constitution classes. So when he was designing like the steam run of the Saber class and all these other different class of ships, he just snuck in the Millennium Falcon in the battle scene, because he'd worked on Star Wars for the remastered editions. So loads of visual effects artists and practical effects artists do that, don't they? They put little nuggets of their own work into other stuff, don't they? As like a little homage to themselves or the things they've worked on before. Yeah, that's nice. I always like that, finding those little nuggets. So like like in Halloween Kills, where they've got the masks from Halloween 3. Even though I don't like that film, I did enjoy seeing them. It was kind of like a little, cool, get it.
Yeah, it's like a little Easter egg, isn't it? It's something, if you know, it's nice, but if you don't, it's fine as well.
Yeah.
I will say that this is the last thing I'll say about the cantina scene, and we'll move on. But the cantina scene sequence took an entire day to film, from 6 a.m. one day to 6 a.m. the next.
Oh my lord!
The costumed actors withstood heat, claustrophobia, and for some, low oxygen intake. When B. Arthur's son, Daniel Sachs, visited the set, he saw a nurse running around feeding oxygen into the various aliens to make sure they didn't pass out.
Jesus.
Co-writer Pat Proft described this, and there's my son, watching the creatures he loves die in front of him.
Fucking hell. That's horrific.
And the actress that played Lumpy lost a significant amount of weight from the heavy costume and the heat. So Patty Maloney is a little person that played Lumpy, and so just the exhaustion of doing anything in that outfit is just insane. There's obviously a lot of other problems. So due to David Acomba's inexperience directing television and his difficulties working with Ken and Mitzi Welch, he departed the project partway through the production. To make matters worse, much of the budget had already been spent, according to Gary Smith. The production was in danger of being cancelled. As a result of these difficulties, the production shut down to find a replacement director. Gary Smith then asked Steve Binder, a former colleague, to step in as director. Whereas Akomba had handled most of the variety segments, Binder was more involved with the scenes in the Wookiee household, as well as all the scenes with the original cast, many of whom were reluctant to participate. According to Binder, he was unable to edit the film, unlike all his other productions, due to a scheduling conflict. As a result, the special was edited by the producers, who had no prior experience with editing.
Oh, my Lord. They should have just cancelled it when they had the chance.
Cancel it when you have the chance.
My God.
So, yeah, so there's a lot of issues. Again, George Lucas was consulted with about everything, but he was deep in pre-production for Empire, so he probably didn't give a flying fuck, to be honest. So I don't think I would either.
No.
Like, that'll be fine. Whatever. Yeah, sure.
Just do it.
Let's go and do it.
Don't put my name on it.
Please don't put my name on it. There is a new documentary coming out this year or probably next year called A Disturbance in the Force, and it's all about this. It's all about the holiday special.
Is it going to be on Disney Plus, or are they going to cover that up?
Probably going to...
Lo and behold, we have anything negative on Disney Plus.
Probably going to bury it again.
Fucking hell,
going to bury it again.
This is the problem. They won't admit to mistakes, will they?
No,
they won't admit to creative mistakes.
Well, look at the I haven't seen The Mandalorian, but I heard about the guy in the jeans being caught in the shot.
Yeah,
and they edited that out. So loads of people are having fun with that. Look, the guy's in there and you can see him, and and they edited that out.
Yeah,
they cut that out because they don't want anybody having fun that isn't their fun.
They don't want anybody pointing fingers.
Yeah, going ha ha ha. Look at that, it's funny.
Mm.
It has to be on their terms what is funny and what they can have fun with, and the jokes about Star Wars they can make.
If you have a negative opinion about it, then you're the fucking villain.
Yeah.
Which is what I really hate. It's what I really hate at the moment. I really hate it. It's really hard being somebody who reviews stuff and fundamentally just not liking stuff. I mean, we haven't had to talk about the Eternals, but we haven't we haven't agreed on it, have we?
No,
we haven't talked about it. But
I agree that there's issues and there's problems. Yeah. It's not perfect, but
it's really difficult watching it and going, I don't like this, and then thinking. I literally thought while I was watching, going, my review is going to be a negative review, and people aren't going to like that. They're going to, thankfully I haven't had anything, but you get that thought like, I don't like this, and there's going to be people that say they absolutely love it, and they'll hound it or they'll cast me in a certain light, which I don't like, which is a horrible thing at the moment. If you have a negative opinion on something, like we both have negative opinion on this.
Absolutely.
For God's sake, if anybody don't fucking hound people, don't pretend or have any kind of pretense or whatever, accept the criticisms and have a complex discussion about them.
Yeah. Like a friend of mine brought up they didn't like V for Vendetta the other day when we were talking about it, and I said fair enough, and she said it was the reason was it's because he basically tortures Natalie Portman, brainwashes her, gaslights her into giving up that fear. It's quite an important part of the book, and the whole Valerie section is in there. So I got what she meant. I was like, I've never viewed it that way myself, but your opinion and your view is absolutely valid, 100%, and I can see what you mean. But I've never seen it that way, and I think if they did cut that out, that's a very important section. I don't know if you could do the film and not have that section.
No, she's got to go through that. She's got to go through, because it's sort of like awakening from. Yeah, it's a form of awakening, isn't it?
Yeah, sure.
She becomes aware of everything that's going on around her. Yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult.
It's
but even in that kind of discussion, you don't just shut off one way or the other, do you?
No, I listened. I didn't go. You're wrong. That's bullshit. I said. I went. Actually, you've got a fair point. I can see why. I can see how you've interpreted it that way and see.
But even in those sort of circles, like I've seen it on Twitter. I don't engage with it, but I've seen it on Twitter where somebody goes, "Well, I don't agree with that," and then they get hounded immediately without any discussion as to why. So somebody will go, "This is the best part of this," and somebody will go, "I don't really think it is," and then it'll be like, "Well, you're fucking wrong. You're wrong."
Yeah.
Whoa.
Well, I've had it.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I've had it in like. I've had a certain opinion about this or a certain opinion about that, and I've been hung out to fucking dry on certain opinions. I won't go into it. People change, people get different opinions, people move on, people develop, people grow. I'm very much like, I'm not the same person I was 5 years ago, 2 years ago, 15 years ago. I've changed. My opinions on things have changed. I've grown. I'm not the same person I was. Yeah. Do I sometimes sit up at night and cringe at stuff I said when I was 15 years old? Of course I
We all fucking do.
We all fucking do. 3 a.m, I go, oh, I really shouldn't have said that, or could have handled that situation a little better. But that's just life, and we've got to move on and try and do better.
Yeah.
That's it.
Let's have constructive discussions. But if you like this, you're wrong.
I got a stitch. You're killing me. You're killing me.
Stitch. This Halloween special is going to be Stitch.
You're killing me. I want to just very briefly talk about the end.
The end.
The life day celebration. So Chewie gets home. Somehow they get rid of all the Imperials in the house, in the tree house. In the Ralph McQuarrie treehouse, and the balcony and banister that just Lumpy was just randomly walking on for some reason earlier in the film. A horrible bit of compositing on a Ralph McQuarrie piece of art. It is dreadful, and and they come home. Han Solo managed to kind of subdue the Imperial in the most bloody bizarre and non-violent way possible.
Yeah.
And I believe they did it in a non-violent way because,
non-violent?
Kids were
bloody guy falls about 400 foot off a tree to his death. It's not non-violent.
No, but it's not blasting him and you're not cutting the throat of him or punching him, knocking him out.
Han tries to grab his hand, doesn't he? Or he tries to do something.
I think he goes to grab the gun that he's dropped.
Yeah.
And then he grabs the gun, but trips over some logs and goes over the banister.
Goes through the banister.
Yeah, through the banister, sorry.
That lovely secure banister that Lumpy was walking on not 10 minutes before. Yeah, and then you hear him go, ah! And then he's gone. And then Han does the responsible adult thing and picks up the gun and lobs that overboard as well. No witnesses. Non-violent, though, because he didn't do anything. He just fell to his own death.
Can't see it. He's gone. Yeah. But it's more of an accident, is it? There's no aggression or
accident.
Well, you know what I mean.
That stormtrooper is splatted at the base of the tree. Yeah, but no problem.
It doesn't show it.
It's non-violent. That's what non-violent. Non-violent rebel-related death.
You know what I mean. You you bastard. Anyway, we get there, and then Han Solo's like, "No, I've got to go. I've got to go back to the Falcon."
Yeah, it's hilarious that.
Dawn has come in.
Hello, everyone. I've got to go now.
Even though I'll be back in 5 minutes anyway, in this weird space dimension. Sawn Dawn has told the Imperials that the guy just walked off. The Imperial soldier left his post for some reason. They were like, yeah, we believe you dodgy bloody salesman who's trying to sell us mini aquariums.
Absolute cretin. We believe you.
Yeah, fucking hell. Yeah, he just keeps popping back and giving people more televisions. The Wookiees really don't need any more fucking televisions.
More Toshibas than a guy that's got them off the back of a lorry.
So the family are finally reunited. Marla and, Chewbacca have this long, loving look. They then proceed to get in these robes and grab their life day orbs, nice pair of orbs, and they are suddenly seen walking through space, what looks like they're walking into a star. Again, another poorly composited scene.
Shocking.
They are then greeted at the Tree of Life, supposedly, and Leia is there, Han is there, Luke is there, C-3PO and R2 are there, and C-3PO and R2 are so happy to be there. Leia gives a speech about joy, understanding, love, and we're all the same, and we're all the same people, even though we're different races, which is a nice message. It's a nice message.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
The sentiment is there. And then C-3PO says that me and R2 are purely electronic, so we would wish we were alive. Unfortunately, we are inhuman abominations and not truly sentient.
Unbelievable.
So we're like, they're like, we wish. They basically say we wish we were alive, like you. And
we wish we were alive
and not slaves.
You are sentient beings, though. Yeah. Aware of your actions and what you do and how they affect people, but no problem. Yeah.
And then we get our last musical number in the film, Stevie's holiday special, which is which is Carrie Fisher singing A Day to Celebrate, which is the official Life Day song. It's a Life Day carol, if you will.
You can buy it from all good musical outlets.
Did you iTunes, Spotify,
Amazon?
Did you enjoy that particular song, Andy?
No. No, I did not.
It was, again, like half of my joy today has just been watching your reaction to every bit of this.
Yeah, I feel like you should upload. I might upload the video.
Yeah.
I think you should do that for your Patreon.
Yeah, I think I might do that.
I think anybody listening should definitely sign up to Dan's Patreon just to see this, because there are long moments when we're just completely silent because we have no idea how to converse.
Yeah, and then it becomes Spanish. We get Spanish audio all of a sudden. And I'm like, oh, for God's sake, I picked this.
Which made it more interesting than anything.
It did go back. I double checked on my phone. I was like, I've got to make sure if it goes back to actual English dialogue.
Would you never watch the end of it in Spanish?
But most for the most part, it's during the fateful Wookie animated section. So if you want to see that, I'll see what I can do. I'm not sure how good I am at editing the videos and stuff, but we'll see what I can do with it. If not, it'll be purely audio. But either way, I'll probably have released it early anyway before this podcast.
I reckon you just upload it. Just fucking get it up there. It'd be really
get it up there.
Be entertaining. Much more entertaining than watching this.
So, Andy, we've come to that time.
Good Lord.
We've come to the time where I want to play the game. Is it canon? So I'm going to ask you. I've got quite a few things to go through. So it's
quite a few, eh?
Quite a few. Yeah. So I've combined some of them just to knock down the list. But I'm going to try and go in order of how they appear in the special as well.
Right. Okay.
So, are you ready? So you've got to tell me if it's canon or is it Legends, which is not currently canon. Okay.
Interesting.
So first of all, Life Day and the Tree of Life. Is it canon or is it Legends? Canon or not canon?
It's got to be canon now, I think, because they're starting to release a lot of stuff regarding it, and they are releasing comics with Life Day specifically in the title. So I'm going to go with canon on that front.
It is canon. It is currently canon. You
much to my dismay.
You do see, if you played Fallen Order, you actually climb up the Tree of Life.
You do. And it looks really good. I'd like to see it. I'd like to see it in it would be cool. Go back to Kashyyyk in a future project and we actually see it properly. Yeah.
I really like that level as well. That's a good level. Yeah. It's got a good kind of variety.
I'd like we were talking before about the Wookiees and everything. It adds something unique to their planet, to their civilization. So yeah.
So Itchy, Lumpy, and Marla. So the family of Chewie, the Baka family, like you've said, are they canon or are they Legends?
Oh, I feel like this is a trick question, but I feel like we've seen the character design of Itchy somewhere else down the line, maybe in the new trilogy, I think, like that kind of costume wandering around. But I'm going to go with Legends because, as far as I'm aware, I don't think we've had anything from Lumpy or Nala since. But I could be wrong because there are a lot of extra comics out there. They've redone everything so many different times, haven't they? And there could be a novel out there with them in. So I'm gonna risk it for a biscuit and just go Legends. I think
Legends. Okay, they are in fact canon.
Wow, fucking hell.
Yeah, they are. They are, from what I know, they are reunited after the end of Jedi, and that's when the kind of celebrations of Life Day and things began. After that, there's a comic that Marvel put out, and I think it was like the dawn of something, and it's basically what happens between the end of Jedi to the beginning of The Force Awakens, and I think they're mentioned in that, and maybe a couple of novels as well.
Interesting. There's so much.
Oh yeah,
they keep chopping and changing it. Like Revan was Legends, but now he's canon.
Yeah. So I think they're just cherry picking now, aren't they? I think we said this on the Ewok thing. They're just cherry picking the stuff they actually
cherry picking everything left, right, and center.
So next up is the Great Zorbax Circus. Is that Legends or is that canon?
Legends. I hope it is.
The Great Zorbax Circus is Legends.
Thank God for that.
So you won't see them in any of the Star Wars material, I don't think. Or you might see them in more Legends material, but not current canon material.
The kind of thing you see on Canto Bight in The Last Jedi.
Next one is Amorphia and the Amorphian android. So that was the instructional android video. Are they legends, that planet and the android, or are they canon?
It's a difficult one. That I've never heard them.
Could go either way.
It could do. I'm gonna go with legends. I'm gonna stick with legends.
It is in fact legends. That's correct.
Good. I'm glad.
You've got one wrong so far, so you're doing pretty well.
Yeah, I'm guessing. I'm not gonna lie, I'm guessing. And they're not informed guesses either. They're just the risky guesses. So
okay, next up is Jefferson Starships, unnamed band. They don't have a name, so could that indicate?
If they don't have a name, it's got to be legends, surely. It
is legends.
Because things have got to have a name if they're canon, even if it's like a random small character. They've got to be named. That's why the names are so so many unique. Random frigging names.
So next one is, I think, is an easy one for you.
We'll see. We'll fucking see.
Boba Fett and the Mandalorian armor. Is it canon or is it legends?
That specific armor?
Just Mandalorian armor in general.
Oh, it's canon.
It is canon.
I thought you meant that armor in particular, the one.
No. No, just in general.
Yeah.
So the Amban Phase Pulse Blaster, which is the weapon he uses in the cartoon, is that canon or is that legends?
It is canon.
It is canon.
Mando uses it to destroy Jawas, hilariously.
I'll get round to that.
Shot though, but it's like a bolt action rifle. It's really weird.
Oh, really? That's all.
Yeah. So it's very different to the. He uses it in the Mandalorian. He uses it in a very similar way to stun the beast. So in the little cartoon segment, he stuns that big beast, doesn't he? That's trying to eat Luke's equipment, and he uses that in the very first episode when the big creature's coming out of the ice trying to grab the Razor Crest, and he stuns it there. But when he uses it on the Jawas, it's like a bolt action rifle, so it pings out a single canister, and he reloads it and vaporizes people with it.
That's kind of cool.
It's a good weapon.
I like that. Next up is Panna, which is the planet they are on the cartoon, so that watery planet. Is Panna canon or is it legends?
I'm just trying to think of the recent map that I saw. I'm going to go with legends on that one, I think. I want it to be canon. I hope it is actually canon. But for me, I think I'm going to go with legends purely because I don't remember seeing it on any of the maps that looked at recently, looked at in general.
So that's Panna, Panna. Panna, the planet, is in fact canon.
Good. I'm actually glad. So that planet actually exists then. The pink planet with the dinosaurs on it. Oh, good.
Dinosaurs.
Good.
Speaking of the dinosaurs, does Pars Ichthyodont, which is Boba's steed in the cartoon, is that canon?
Yeah, it should be. If the planet's canon, then the beast has got to be canon, hasn't it?
It is not. It is legends.
What?
It's legends.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a bit disappointing, isn't it? How can you have the planet canon, not the creatures on it?
Don't know. That's the way it is.
Oh, God, Disney.
I get
your ass. Fucking hell. Oh, we're going to make this planet canon. What about the vibrant culture and the creatures on it? Nah, it'd be fine. What? It's like it's like this cup. The coffee in it's canon, but the cup's not. Oh my God. Got coffee everywhere.
So that isn't canon. But next one is the Panna Dragon. So that's the monster that Boba Fett shoots. Is that legends or is that canon?
Because it doesn't make any sense, I'm going to go with that's canon.
That is also legends.
Yeah, well, again, it doesn't make any sense. Why are the fucking creatures that inhabit the planet and not canon? It'd be very easy. They literally just go to do an updated version of those creatures. You just airbrush them slightly and they're done. But no,
like it's like having Endor without the Ewoks.
Yeah. The Ewoks are canon, but the planet's not. We've just got Ewoks floating in space.
Help us! Oh dear,
doesn't make any sense.
Okay, so we next one is the Talisman, which is the object they're looking for in the cartoon. Is that legends or is that canon?
Legends. No idea. I'm guessing.
It is legends, yeah. So it doesn't exist. It's just again,
because I think
random MacGuffin. Yeah,
they probably replaced the idea of the Talisman in favor of the holocrons.
Oh yeah. That could be or the books or the records.
Yeah, Jedi text and things like that. Yeah.
But I mean, in the Lego Holiday Special, there was that little time stone gem thing that helped them travel through time. But again, who's to say that? I doubt that's canon because of the Lego.
No, they just robbed that of Doctor Strange because they're creatively redundant.
Your favorite character in the holiday special, Gourmanda the chef.
Oh, God.
Is Gourmanda the chef, is she canon or is she Legends?
I hope to God she's Legends purely for the reasons we stated earlier.
Yep. She's canon. She's canon. There's a cookbook or something. And she's mentioned in it, or I think it's a novel. She's mentioned as knowing a recipe or creating a recipe or something like that. So she is canon. Your favorite character is canon in the Star Wars.
It deserves to be cancelled.
Cancel it. Yeah,
that's a little bit
questionable canonicity.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming if they did like an updated visual of it, it'd probably be very much silver faced, and
it'd be like when you did your video on what's his face, nappy head guy. Oh God, what's he called? The bounty hunter with a nappy head.
Oh fuck,
what's his fucking name?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Oh,
yeah, that one.
Yeah,
one who looks like an absolute loser, and then he's been brought back into canon. Looks fucking nothing like you.
Dengar.
That's it, Dengar. Yeah. That's the one. Yeah. So there you go. Hopefully they'll maybe make them more alien-like or something. Or if they ever bring. I doubt we'll see her. I doubt we'll see her in a live action.
Yeah, hopefully not. Questionable.
So Sawn Dan, so Art Carney, who is the Wookiee's friend and salesperson, is he Legends or is he canon?
You got the cook as bloody canon. Surely you have him as canon. This is very strange. There doesn't seem to be any logic to any of these, does there? I'm going to go with canon on him because if the family's canon, then surely you'd want the friend to be canon.
You would. He's in fact Legends, though.
Oh, what the fuck? This doesn't make any sense, does it?
There's no logic to this.
Doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Don't worry, there's still more. I've still got a load more. So the Wookiee groomer, so the device that he's trying to sell that Imperial officer that does all the syncopating, calculating, washing, and all that other bollocks it does, that amazing device. The Wookiee groomer, is that canon or is that Legends?
Canon, because it's hilarious.
It is canon. It is fucking canon, that thing. That thing that does all those things and recites the penal code, all 17 volumes of the penal code and the Imperials.
Good old Imperials.
It is canon.
Imperial construction grooms you and tells you what not to do.
Next up is the Wookie Cookies that Lumpy tries to eat at the beginning of the special. I think they're called Ookies or Wookie Cookies or something like that. I'm just going to call them Wookie Cookies. Are they canon or are they Legends?
Canon, because I want them.
They are canon.
Yes. Get them in Galaxy's Edge in the restaurant, you sellout bastards.
I'd eat those. The Wookie Cookies, the Wookie Cookies.
Give me some Wookie Cookies.
Okay, is the mind evaporator. So this is the device, the holographic device that Itchy uses to watch his soft porn. Is that Wankatron device, is that in canon or is that Legends?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Legends, because it's porn. Star Wars doesn't do porn very well.
You'd be surprised, it's canon.
What?
It's canon.
It's not even family friendly.
Canon.
Dad, why is he watching that? I'll tell you when you're older.
Speaking of the mind evaporator, Mermaya, who is the sexy hologram that Itchy likes, is she canon or is she Legends?
She's named, isn't she?
Yeah, she's got a name, unlike Jefferson Starship.
But then the friend was Legends, so there's no logic to it, is there?
Yeah. I love that you've applied logic to all of these.
Yeah, and there is no logic.
Most of them are
may as
wrong.
well just guess them. Canon, go on.
Okay, so Mermaya, the sexy hologram, is in fact Legends. So.
Good.
Next up is Acmina the Bartender. So B. Arthur's character.
Yeah.
Is she canon as the Mos Eisley bartender, or is she Legends?
I don't know if it's the other guy that runs Mos Eisley, isn't it? The cantina in Mos Eisley.
the guy who doesn't allow his kind, their kind in here.
Well, unless she's like a partner in it. Because it's B. Arthur, and I kind of want her to be canon. I'm going to go with canon. I want that character to be canon.
Acmina the Bartender is in fact canon.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
But Is her song that she sings, "Good Night but Not Goodbye," is that canon?
No, that's Legends. It's got to be.
It is in fact canon.
Really?
Because it is a slowed down version of the Cantina tune.
Yeah.
So technically it's already canon. They've just turned it down and added lyrics to it. So,
added lyrics to it that nobody ever needed. Yeah. No, fair enough.
Now is Krellman, the volcano-headed orifice guy who fancies Acmina, is he canon or is he Legends?
God, he's going to be canon, isn't he?
He's Legends. Don't worry.
Thank God.
That one part is Legends.
I'm saying the opposite to these. I feel like I'm saying the opposite to these in the hopes that they won't be.
I think the ones that you're like, I hope that's canon. I really hope that's canon. Yeah. And they're not. Or you're saying, I hope that's Legends, but it is. Right. So coming to the end, the Life Day orbs. Are they Legends or are they canon? So those Life Day orbs. They're in fact Legends.
Really?
Yeah, I believe so.
So Life Day itself is canon, but a fundamental part of the celebration isn't.
No.
My God, nobody knows what they're doing, do they?
Now,
the very essence of cherry picking. We'll have Gozer and Zool, but we won't have any of the demon dogs or anything like that. We'll just have the name, and you can keep the hairdo. That's not canon either.
So the last one, Andy, before we come to, I've got some listener comments, so we'll do those.
Oh, good.
And I think we'll slowly come to an end. So a day to celebrate. So Leia's official kind of Life Day carol, if you will. Is that canon or is that Legends?
Oh, have they made it canon? Go canon, because the drudgery of it.
I mean, it's a rearranged John Williams music, so maybe
I don't know. Actually, that's an interesting one. I kind of think they might have made it canon for Carrie Fisher, but then I don't know because it didn't do her any favors, did it? So interesting. I don't really know. I'll stick with canon.
It's Legends. That one. That one is Legends.
That's a shame for it.
Probably for the best. It's not a great song.
Yeah,
but yeah,
it's a bit of a shame, isn't it? Really, I suppose.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that you kind of succeeded.
No, I have not succeeded at all there.
However, I have
clearly messed up a lot of them, didn't I? In the hopes of other opposite answers, I think.
I've put your Star Wars fan credentials to shame now.
You have. Yeah.
You don't know that.
Thank you, the holiday special, for proving I don't know anything really. But there you go.
Not only have I forced you to watch the holiday special today, I've also questioned your
question my fandom.
I've gatekeeped the fuck out of you.
Yeah, somebody's going to use that against me, aren't they? In the future, go, I listened to a podcast a while ago where you got less than half the questions right on the holiday special. You know nothing about Star Wars.
You can't say shit. You didn't like The Last Jedi. Fuck you.
They'll just use it against me.
So even though you didn't necessarily succeed, I had quite fun. I quite enjoyed doing that. I have got you I have got you a little Life Day present.
Oh, bless you.
So I've got you the Life Day Treasury.
What is that?
Which is a book, several short stories about Life Day across the Star Wars universe.
Oh, bless you. That is delightful.
It's like a little kind of children's book. It's got some images in there and stuff as well. So
I'm all about the images.
So yeah, it's nice, and it's got some lovely artwork on the back as well.
Looks better than the actual bloody show. They've got the orbs there.
That's it, the orbs. Maybe they are canon. Maybe I'll double check that. I'll double check if the orbs are canon or not, because I might be wrong. But the rest I double checked. The orbs I'm a little wobbly on, I think. But it doesn't matter. We had fun. But yeah, so
lovely.
I've got you like a little book, and it's really cool because the pages are they're kind of like a damaged book. It's kind of got frayed. They've got like frayed. You won't be able to see it, but they've got kind of like, I'll put it up to the thing, but they kind of got this frayed edge to them.
Yeah, I can just about see it.
Yeah, it's not really clear, but I think you'll like it. They did like a Halloween one as well, and I think it was kind of like a Thanksgiving one as well. But
right, okay.
I got you this one, so
thank you so much. That's
my pleasure. It's all right. Well, I wanted to thank you for doing this and for allowing me to put you through this ordeal. this terrible ordeal that I believe we've gone through. But yeah, I'll put a picture of it on the social medias and stuff. But
Lovely.
Yeah. So I've got a couple of listener comments, not many, but
excellent. Anyone that's never going to talk to me again?
Not yet. I'm sure it's coming. So I am Jack's Musings at I am Jack's Musings on Twitter, my biggest fan. I have never subjected myself to it. Of course, now you're covering it, I will.
No. Don't, Jack, don't.
Don't bother, Jack.
God's sake, man.
Don't do it, bud.
Heed our warnings. Leave this plane.
You underestimate the power of the dark side.
You underestimate the power of
the holiday special, the drudgery of the holiday special. And he said, "Are you dressing up in cosplay?" And I said, "We'll see." We didn't. We did not bother.
We didn't, unfortunately.
We did not bother. We got stuff on. We got things.
We'll save the cosplay for when something is deserving of it.
Absolutely,
I think.
So going over to Instagram, GP Venom 1982 is a friend of the Attention Seeking Geek on YouTube.
Ah, yes.
Who I hope is going to come back very, very soon. Fingers crossed.
So do I.
Please do, Ben. You do some excellent content. I really love it. I know it's been difficult recently, but please do come back because we like it.
I was looking forward to going on your show if you're listening.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Please do come back, mate.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you're feeling right again.
Yeah, only do it when it's right. But we do miss you, and we miss your show every Sunday. I was always watching, and we always like to comment along with it and stuff on YouTube. And it's fantastic and fun. So do come back, but only when it's right for you, only if it's right. We do miss the show, and make sure it's available though. Make sure the episodes are still available because people want to find it and go to it. So, and I will always post it. It's on my website. All the videos I'm in are on the website that I'm featured in as well, so you can go check his stuff out. Anyway, GP Venom 1982 says about the special, I gave up after the first 10 minutes.
I'm glad. I wish I had as well. Oh, Christ. Wish I had.
This is why I watched it with you, Andy, because I was like, there's no way I'm letting you not watch the whole thing.
I don't
suffer as I have suffered.
Yeah, I honestly don't think there's any way I would have got through it really on my own. It's that bad.
Not great. Not great. So, Andy, I think we have come to the end. We've talked about literally everything under the sun. Got all the trivia out that I think I have. Look it up. Look it up yourselves. Go into some deep dives if you want. But I think we've got the main bits of triv, as I like to call it, out for you. Do you have any final thoughts or anything you'd like to say before we finish?
Not really. I'm just, like I said, I hope they don't go into some idea to do a remake or something like this. But all signs seem to point that they will do. I reckon. I think they'll do it. They'll release a HD version of it, maybe, because George Lucas is in control, so they can do whatever the fuck they want. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the issue, isn't it? Getting some of this old stuff out that doesn't work. Should be kept.
They've released all the other crappy stuff. Ewoks are now on there. Like after we did the podcast, Ewoks are on there. Like literally within weeks or a month, it was on there.
Everyone's saying they bloody loved them.
Yeah,
which don't believe you. Believe you.
We experienced them recently, and they were not good. There's no fond memories for me of watching them.
Absolutely not.
Like you said,
there won't be any from this either, apart from that animated segment and maybe
which is already available.
Cantina bit,
it's already available on there. Like the Cantina bit is fine. It's the best apple in a bad bunch. One of the best apples, but the rest of it is just utter dross, shite, just not interesting, poorly filmed, poorly edited, like I said, rushed, run out of money, too many cooks, not enough coverage and involvement of George Lucas. But then George Lucas had full involvement of those Ewok films, of Howard the Duck, and of various other films. So he's not like the golden guiding god of this franchise.
No.
In any stretch of the imagination. He's been involved with a lot of other crap as well, to be fair to him. He has been involved in rubbish as well. But this is it. This is it. So you would not recommend it. You would not advise people to watch
it. Not at all. I can't. There's nothing in it that I can honestly recommend the sitting down of an hour and 40 minutes. No, not at all.
Again, it's on YouTube. You can cherry pick what you want. You can find it. I can, if you want a link, I can send it over to you. The 4K link that I found. I'm going to send the one that it turns Spanish in, though. I'm definitely sending it.
Oh yeah, because it was hilarious.
What was it? It was what was it?
Buenos dias, Boba.
Yeah, it was like
what?
It was like it was in what was it in Spanish? It was like Guerreros de las Galaxias.
Yeah.
It was something like
Buenos de las Galaxias.
It was it was funny. I was like I can't I don't know, because I was like, I hope the rest of the holiday special isn't just in Spanish. Not that it's like critical that we hear the dialogue or anything.
No.
But Jesus Christ. But yes, we're coming to an end. Andy, you have a wonderful, wonderful show on YouTube, the Angry Andy Reviews.
Yes.
Tell people about it. Tell people where they can find it. Where are your social media handles? Where do people want to hear your mad ravings?
So yeah, like you said, Angry Andy Reviews on YouTube. That's the main sort of focus. I do quite a fair amount of movie reviews on it. Some collectibles, TV show reactions when I can be bothered. But it's mainly movie reviews and collectibles as and when they come in.
Actually, I have a question, Andy. So with the Ewok movies, you went and did your own video on your channel.
Yes.
Will you be doing your own video on this?
No, because I don't want to spend any more time on it.
Fair enough. To be fair,
yeah.
You've had a comment. We've done a commentary. We've done this, so I think you're all probably shit out of ideas at this point.
Yeah. I'll leave that one with you. I'll let you into the aftermath of it. But yeah, I'm on Twitter, Andy_review, and on Instagram as well. I can't remember. Angry_Andy1138, I think it is. I haven't used it for a little while, but I'm on there floating around anyway.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, those are the main two avenues, YouTube and Twitter. You'll follow me and check me out on there. So yeah, thank you.
Fantastic. Well, thank you, Andy, for giving up most of your day to watch this and to record this.
It's been a delight. Well worthy of my time.
I do truly appreciate it. So thank you very much. So you can find me at Secret Balls on Facebook. It's at Dan_Balls on Twitter. Instagram, it's at SpiderDan Secret Balls. And don't forget to use the hashtag #PrepareForPrattle when you interact. For everything else you need to know about the podcast, swing over to SpiderDanandTheSecretBalls.com on the World Wide Web. And I'd like to thank my patrons on Patreon. I am Jack's Musings, Paul Meller, Max Byrne, Tony Farina, Scott Hodgson, and Simon Cottam for their continuing donations. It is very much appreciated and helps Prattle World keep on turning. And if you ever find yourself in a position to help the podcast, please consider it. Thank you very much, guys. Top absolute diamond geezers. And I'm going to record some more Patreon content today when I get a chance, just so I can put some more stuff out there. I'm going to try and be a lot. That's my New Year's resolution, to be a bit more on it in regards to the Patreon stuff.
I think this commentary will be a nice commentary video. I think will be a nice addition to that collection. So
nice supplement, and also I don't have to spend fucking hours and hours editing it as well.
Yeah,
which is nice.
Just sling it up there. Fuck it.
There you go. You got it. Have it. Have it. Just have it. Yeah. I can do it. Yeah, I could do it as a YouTube video. Yeah, I think so. We'll see what I can do. But thank you again, Andy. I do really appreciate it on this, this very wet Wednesday. I do appreciate your time, and we're going to open. This opens Alternativity Stories this week.
Good.
So this is a big one, a special one, and I think a lot of people will be looking forward to this after our Ewok fiasco.
The good thing is it can only get better after this as well.
Absolutely.
You're gonna have a very merry life day, Christmas day.
You say
everything day.
You say this, Andy, but you still want us to watch Turkish Star Wars. So.
Yes, I do.
So I don't know if it's going to get that much better. We've done Star Crash over on Andy's channel, so I don't know.
Maybe that can be my Christmas gift to you. That's my life day gift to you, to watch Turkish Star Wars.
Sounds like revenge to me. Sounds like revenge.
Revenge of the life day.
Right. Well, thank you again. I hope you guys are having a great Christmas season or holiday season, whatever you're celebrating, Hanukkah, whatever, Kwanzaa, Life Day, whatever it may be, all of those festivals and all of those celebrations. all valid, all count. So I do appreciate you listening, and I hope you're having a good time. And there's lots more coming in alternativity stories, which I believe is everybody's favorite theme month of this podcast. I believe, from what I've heard from people, they really like this alternate tales from the holidays. So yeah, great, cool. Thank you again, Andy, and take care, everyone, and happy holidays.
Happy Life Day. Bye.